we are going to make a chicken stir-fry lab today. The ingredients that you'll need is 1 chicken breast. And we'll have to cut that up. A couple cloves of garlic. Some sliced water chestnuts. And 1 small onion that we will also cut up. Finally, you'll be adding some frozen vegetables to your mix. They may look different than this bag, but it should include different types of vegetables that you can find in your garden, such as broccoli or peppers or mushrooms, things like, and pea pods. You'll also have a already made stir-fry sauce mix that you'll add to your chicken stir-fry and top it with some rice. And you'll also need some oil to fry your chicken and your vegetables in. For this recipe, there's a few pieces of equipment that you'll need. You'll need 2 different cutting boards, one for meat and the other for the garlic, the onions, and the water chestnuts. You'll also need a can opener to open your water chestnuts. You will need 1 knife to cut your chicken with, and 1 knife to cut your onion and garlic and water chestnuts with. You will also need a wooden spoon in order to stir your stir fry and your chicken as it is cooking in your skillet. And finally, you'll need a bowl to put your chicken in once your chicken has cooked in the skillet and before you add your vegetables to cook as well. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to cut the chicken breast. Obviously you've washed your hands already. I would say to cut at least 20 slices, equal size. Any fatty parts of the chicken we do want to clean off, so we'll see this white part right here. Just slice that off. Get rid of that. And then try to make as even cuts as possible because we want our chicken to cook evenly in the skillet, not have some pieces done while the others are still undercooked. I'm just going to make simple slices here. And when you get to a thicker slice, you can actually cut the chicken in half at this point. Make sure that your knives are nice and sharp. Mr. Fitz should have already sharpened your knives for you so that they cut very evenly and easily. Just be careful of your fingers as you are cutting. Okay, so now that we have our chicken breast cut, we want to wash our hands because we touched the chicken. So now that I've washed my hands, because I don't want to touch anything else with raw chicken juices on my hands, I'm now going to pour just a little bit of oil into our skillet. Just enough to cover the bottom. Coat it. We're not deep frying. We just want a nice little coating on the bottom. And then I'm going to turn my burner on to between 5 and 6. So that's just a little over medium temperature. While that's heating up for just a few minutes, I'm going to start cutting my onion. So we want to cut it in half. We want to peel it. Throw any of the skin into the compost. Cut the ends off. All of this can go into your compost bucket. And then we want our vegetables to all be about the same size. So depending on what your frozen vegetables look like, you'll see they're about this size. We want to cut our onions to be approximately the same size of that. So we're going to do little wedges. And that way all of our food is going to cook evenly. Alright, so my oil should be getting hot. I'm going to put my chicken into the oil carefully so that the oil does not splash all over. And you just want to make sure to even out the chicken as much as possible once you get it into the skillet. Okay, so every stove is a little different. I noticed that I wasn't quite getting the heat that I wanted to stir fry this chicken, so I did move it up to about 7. If the oil starts to bump too much or come out and splatter, you want to turn it down just a little bit so that you're not making a mess or possibly getting burned by the hot oil. Also, while this chicken is cooking, I've already cut up my onion. I'm going to want to open my water chestnuts and just drain the liquid from this because we are not going to add the liquid from the can to the stir fry. And remember to be very careful while removing the lid because you don't want to cut your fingers and it's very sharp. You can dump those out. They look like a good size. They kind of compare to the onion. They compare to the size of the broccoli and the pea pods and the mushrooms that are already in the mix. And the last thing that I'll need to do then is just to mince up some garlic. So once your chicken has gotten to be a little golden brown on both sides, I suggest always kind of cutting it in half on one of the pieces, one of the larger pieces, and making sure there's no pink inside. Then you want to take your skillet and your bowl and carefully move the chicken into the bowl. At this point, we're going to add just a little splash more of oil to our pan. And now we're going to add our vegetables. Oh, let me show you how to mince a clove of garlic, even though I think you've done this before. Just want to take your head of garlic, your bulb of garlic, and take one clove off. Couple different ways to do it. The most important thing that you want to do is get the skin off and the ends off. So we're going to cut this end and pull the skin back. And then cut this end and just peel that skin off. Now we have a nice clove of garlic that we can mince up. So once our garlic's minced up, we want to add this to the pan. Remember, there is hot oil in there and it can splatter a little bit. So we put the water chestnuts, we put the onions, the garlic, and then we're going to add our frozen vegetables as well. And then since we used the wooden spoon with the cooked chicken, you can use it again with the vegetables because it's all coming to a hot temperature. If this would have been with raw chicken, we wouldn't have wanted to use it again. And we're just going to let those saute for about 5 to 6 minutes. Alright, once you see that your vegetables have gotten cooked all the way through, obviously no longer frozen for the frozen ones, and the onions are not real hard, they've softened up quite a bit, then it's time to put the chicken back into this pot. Just add the chicken back in. And then we want to add the already made soy sauce to the mix as well. So just make sure that you bring your sauce and your stir fry back to a boil because there is cornstarch in your stir fry sauce, and that's a thickening agent. So you want your sauce to become thick. Serving, you'll take some rice out of the rice cooker, place it onto a plate, not quite that much, and then your stir fry right on top. And that is how you make chicken stir fry.